first game on the list is going to be none other than Modern Warfare. This game is interesting, man. For competitive, I don't think it was that good. I think it was pretty bad. Time to kill was really quick. The maps weren't impressive. I liked Gunrunner a little bit, but no other maps. I mean, come on. They had Piccadilly in it, not that good. Arkloff, Peak S&D, not that good. Overall, a pretty poor game, and honestly, probably, in my opinion, the worst. I think, yeah, it probably is the worst comp game we've ever played. Do I put it in F? Because if I were to put a game in F, it would be this game. It probably, yeah, it has to go in F for competitive. Infinite Warfare. Okay. Infinite Warfare. Oh, yeah, it had domination. Ugh. And squad spawns and domination, those don't mix well. Infinite Warfare. So, this game, I enjoyed it. It was like a fun game to play, to jump around, hit the wall runs, and do all that stuff. The maps were very dull and bland. I feel like if they really added some cool visuals and made it look nice, it would have been a really like fun game to play. But for competitive, it had specialists. It was overall okay. This is Infinite Warfare, guys, not Advanced Warfare. This is Infinite Warfare. I didn't win champs in this game. I got like 6 of champs in this game. I'm not too crazy about this game for competitive. Like, it was fun. I did really like Throwback, though. Throwback was a really good map. Probably my favorite map in that game. I think a proper rating for this one's about C. I think C is a solid rating for that one. Not the best, not the worst. It was just kind of It was kind of whatever. And we'll reassess at the end of the tier list. And snaking was crazy. Oh my God, snaking was so crazy in this game. How can we forget about snaking in Infinite Warfare? Like, you could snake so fast and they had no chance of seeing you. Like, they literally wouldn't even see you if you were snaking properly. Oh my God, that game. I might have to put it down to D for that. Now I'll keep it at C. And then we have COD 4 Modern Warfare. Wow, this is a throwback, a blast from the past. I was 10 years old playing this game. I never was in like the PCL or the PCOQs trying to compete like that, but I did play GBs. But this game was like, I'm not going to let nostalgia blind me too much, but I do think S&D was really good in this game. It had domination, and I feel like domination as a competitive game mode isn't very good. Domination for competitive is just not good. In Ghost, it wasn't good. In Black Ops 1, it wasn't good. Or COD 4, it wasn't good. Like, domination is just not a good competitive game mode. So, the maps are legendary. You have some like Crash. S&D is probably carrying the, and Sabotage. Sabotage was a dope game mode. Sabotage was dope, especially when you go to like overtime. It was like a radar always on. It was crazy. Sabotage was cool. But I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna give it an A, but I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B for sure. That's pretty solid. Call of Duty 3 didn't even have competitive, unless we're talking about like, or was that COD 2 and everyone's sniping on that thing? But COD 3 didn't really have competitive, so we're not gonna rate that. MW3. Okay. This game was another crazy game for snaking. Snaking was very prevalent in this game, and you were able to bob up and down and do everything. The PP90, though, the PP90 was fire. If you remember that gun, or even the MP7. That like, there was 2 types of people in this world. There's the PP90 users, which I used. It was really, really good. I think it was better than MP7. But the MP7 had no recoil, and it shot really, really fast. But the PP90 did like a little bit more damage. And then you had what, the ICR. This game was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. S&D was really good in this game. I think this was another game though with domination, unfortunately. Or no, did it? Wasn't it just S&D and CTF in competitive? Wasn't it just S&D and CTF? Because this was the game where, if you guys remember, if you guys were still in the community back then, or if you guys were in the community back then, there was no LAN events in the United States. All the teams had to fly to London. I'm pretty sure it was just in London. I don't think it went anywhere else. But it was just in London for the IGLs, or what they call it, to go play over there. So Optic would fly over there, or Apex at the time. That's a blast in the past. I don't know if you young bucks remember Apex, when Apex was like Rambo, was it Scum, Merc, and someone else? I forgot. Then like Fear would fly over there sometimes. Yeah, but this was a good game. I actually really enjoyed CTF and S&D in this game. Arcaden is a really good map. I still think to this day we can have Arcaden in the game. Arcaden was probably It was probably the best map in my opinion in this game. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Dome was fun for CTF, but it is really small, and you could get spawn trap, bro. People would literally just be staring at you spawn. Your teammate would need to spawn up if you're spawning in the bunker while you're getting spawned from the steps, and it's pretty much like he's dying instantly, but he would need to throw a grenade. He would need to get away and throw a grenade at the spawn point, and when you naded the spawn point, it would spawn you somewhere else so you don't get spawn trapped. But that was just some nerdy stuff back in MW3 days. And this is actually the first game I went to a local land-in. I went to a local land-in. So shout out to my friend Tommy and his mom for bringing me there. They waited outside of my house for 10-15 minutes because I wasn't waking up. And who knows what happens if I never wake up and never go to that local land and meet people. But I got second in the 4v4. I played against like Proofy, Stainville, and like people from Envy. I was like, yo, why the hell are people from Envy in California at a local land? But we got second there. I think I got like second or third in the 2v2, and then I won the free-for-all. So in the free-for-all, no, that wasn't the free-for-all I won. I won the next land free-for-all. I got like second or third again in the free-for-all. And then the next event in MW3, the next local land, I won the free-for-all. I won $100 cash. I was on top of the world. I thought I could buy everything. I felt like the man on the drive back home late at night after I won my free-for-all, $100 cash in hand. Damn, I thought I was the man. I thought I could buy it. I was about to take a private jet out somewhere. But I was like 14, 15. $100 was a lot back then, man. $100 was a lot back then. You know what? For competitive, I'll put this game high C. I'll put it high C. And now we move on to Black Ops 2, arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, overall Call of Duties of all time. Not just for competitive, not just for pubs. And there was a lot of cheese in this game, though. Dual wheel cap 40s, the foul, the fully auto foul. But it has one of my favorite guns of all time, the MSMC. The maps were insane. Raid, probably the best map in Call of Duty history. Raid is probably the best map in Call of Duty history for competitive. Good for control, good for S&D, great for hardpoint, great for CTF back in the day. So Raid is by far one of the best maps. Express, great S&D map. Standoff, great hardpoint and S&D map. That's why we brought him back in for Cold War, and they were the best maps in Cold War. Standoff and or Standoff, Express S&D, and Raid were the best maps in Cold War. So this game is an easy S for Black Ops 2. And then we got Advanced Warfare. Oh, my bread and butter. Give me an advanced movement. Give me a jetpack to fly around, and I'm going to be making plays, just like my Valkyrie main in Apex. I'm not as good yet, though, as I was in AW. If I was AW good in with Valkyrie in Apex, I'd be playing in the next ALGS winning that easily. But, yeah, Advanced Warfare, this was the first Call of Duty of its kind. So this game literally turned the community on its heads. It changed everything. And in my opinion, it was the best advanced movement game. There was no wall running, and wall running is very cheese and bullshit because you can be on any elevation of the wall, and people don't know which elevation. You can be on the highest part, the semi-highest part, the middle/low part, or the lowest part, or under the map. So wall running is one of the worst things that ever got added into Call of Duty. But jetpacks and dashing and exosuits were really, really fun, and they created some fantastic movement. The maps were good. Dr. Disrespect made a couple maps. I mean, Solar was a fantastic map. Detroit, fantastic map. Retreat, a solid map for Hardpoint. Optic Gaming loved that. What else? Riot, fantastic S&D map. Biolab, pretty shit map, to be honest. Comeback Uplink, the best, by far, not even close, no contest, the best uplink map and mode of all time. Comeback Uplink, by far the best. It's not even close. There's no map that even comes close to Comeback Uplink. By far the best map. So, AW gets an A tier for sure. I don't think it's S, but it gets an A. And then we got Call of Duty Ghost. Wow. This is going to be an interesting one. Because Call of Duty Ghost was by far the best S&D game for competitive Call of Duty. And don't even say it. Like, don't even start saying, Ted, you can't wallbang that. I get it. It's not fun. It's not funny anymore. Try different jokes. So, Call of Duty Ghost, it was by far the best S&D. Warhawk, Godlike. What what other maps were there? Octane godlike, Sovereign godlike for SND. Everything was just godlike in this game because, and the reason that is not just because the maps were good. It was because you could watch crosses on the map, so you can play with percentages. You could say, oh, I'll smoke this cross and go this way and watch this cross. And if it didn't cross over here, I know they're on this side of the map. And this is what made Ghost so good for 1v1 S&D, for 2v2, 3v3, 4v4. And this game is being hard carried by its S&D. Such a good game for S&D. I loved it. And everyone else does too. But it was so good. I just missed playing S&D in that game. So we're going to put this game, if it wasn't for S&D, this game would probably be F. Because Domination and Blitz are two of the worst game modes in competitive Call of Duty ever. There's no worse thing than hiding in a blitz point on like Octane or Warhawk, just waiting and then just sprinting out and just sliding into the point. Like, it was just terrible. Freight was pretty fun because it was kind of all gunny. But if I was rating the S&D only, it would be S. But if I'm rating the Domination and Blitz only, it'd be F. So we're gonna find a nice middle ground for it. It's being hard carried by this S&D, so I'll put it in bottom of B. Just because the S&D is hard carrying it bad. Ghost, BO3 S&D was better than Ghost? No, it wasn't. World War II. World War II, probably the second best S&D game we've ever had for competitive. Hardpoint was okay. CTF was okay. The thing is, the maps just weren't very good, and it was very boring to watch. Not a lot of good colors. It just wasn't. F11, I already hit F11. This is the full screen. Not the best map for colors and pubs, and that's why a lot of people didn't like it. It was very dark, depressing, but I mean, it is World War II. It wasn't good times back in those days over in those areas. But an overall really good game for competitive. This is actually a really underrated game. It played super well, but people hated it because either their favorite team wasn't good at it, their favorite player roasted it and hated it, or they just thought it was boring. But overall, the fundamentals for competitive were great. In S&D, you could throw nades over buildings, and you could zone different lanes, get a lot of information, and cut off crosses and know exactly where they're at, kind of like it was in Ghost. But Hardpoint was better, and CTF was pretty good. But for this game, I don't know if I could give it A, actually. It could maybe be low A or high B. Maybe low A or high B. I'll probably put it high B. I'll put it high B just because I don't think the game was that amazing. It could go low A though. It could go low A because it just had really good fundamentals for an SND game, and it kind of felt like a chess match at the end of the year. Certain things you would do, like we had strats on Saint Marie where we'd throw like tabbing gases at something so they had to run in slow while someone else is nading or stunning, so they're getting extra hurt. So yeah, that's gonna go high B for sure. Great fundamentals in that game. Ooh, and now we got Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4, where the first game where we had stim that was like connected to your character, so you always had stim. You didn't even put on your class; it was just always there. But stim made it kind of cheesy. 5v5 made it kind of cheesy, but this was a very entertaining game. S&D was really fun for me. Hardpoint, I loved it. I loved crack aiming with the Maddox. It was so good. But overall, wait, actually, I need to move Ghost down now I'm thinking about it. Because that game's only being carried by S&D. Like, I think Black Ops 4 is the perfect B game. The maps and modes, or the maps weren't amazing, but they weren't terrible. They were fun. They were solid. They were entertaining. When you got a crazy clutch, it was cool because people had stim and you could finesse really hard. I think that made it a very fun factor in the game. So I would give it like a B. I'd give it a B. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Would I put it above COD 4? Would I put it above Ghost? Bro, Ghost is so lucky he had God like S&D, or I'd move this game down. It was so lucky I got like S&D. And now we got Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1, it was this is the highest selling COD game. I'm pretty sure Black Ops 1 is the highest selling COD game, except for maybe Modern Warfare because it had Warzone and it's like free to play it out. But out of all the ones you had to pay $60 for, Black Ops 1 was the highest selling COD game ever. I didn't really like it. The maps were okay. The Dolphin Down the movement wasn't too good. A lot of people like this for competitive, but I think it was pretty shit. So I'm putting it in C. I didn't really like that game, especially for competitive. Zombies was fun though. Black Ops 3. Ooh, this is a solid one. Black Ops 3 was a solid one. Yeah, Black Ops 1 was just so boring. It is the most overrated COD of all time by far. By far the most overrated COD of all time. Zombies and pubs were fun though, but competitive it was shit. There was literally one AK-74U or and a FAMAS, and then you have a shotgun sometimes. But yeah, no, that game was shit. Then we got Black Ops 3. Really good game. Probably the second best game for competitive, I'd say. If they had no wall running, it would be much better. But because wall running is just not a good element in Call of Duty, so I'm gonna put it high S because S&D was really good in this game. It was fun to play wagers, tournaments, hit some crazy snipes, jumping over buildings. Hardpoint played really well. Uplink was really entertaining and really fun. So I'm gonna put that nice in the high A category. I'm gonna put it above AW because I think it had a little bit more fundamental in the respawn department in the respawn modes. Then we got MW2. MW2. Okay, so this is one of the best games for pubs. Competitive was pretty fun. It was kind of whack because everyone could shoot so straight. Shooting the ACR was like probably the easiest thing ever. It was easier to shoot straight on this game than with dynamic aim assist nowadays. The maps they have some classic maps. Scrapyard, super fun for CTF, and or Demolition, that's what it was. Hardpoint wasn't introduced yet. It'd be cool if we could maybe see how Hardpoint would play on those maps. S&D was really good in this game. You had like the high rises. You had the not even competitive some maps, but like maps I played on, you'd be like Skid Row, Favela were still super fun. But what were the competitive maps? It was like High Rise, Scrapyard, Terminal, Elite. But for competitive, let's see. For competitive, wow, lightweight marathon, man. Lightweight marathon, UMP silenced or an MTAR with holographic sight. Jeez, the days. What was that one map I'm thinking of? It had like oh no, was it Invasion? I think it was Invasion. Yeah, Karachi S&D was godlike. Invasion was really good. Where would I put this for competitive? I think it might have to be low A. It might have to be low A. Nostalgia might be blinding me a little bit, but it'll be low A. Or high B. Either or. It's either one of the two. It's either low A or high B. It was good. It was good. I'm just being blinded by nostalgia. This is just the good old days, man. I was recording with my mom's camera, recording GB proof and stuff, saying, look at that P90 shot. But yeah, I'm letting the nostalgia blind me for a little bit. And then maybe I'll snap out of it later. But it should probably be B. But we're going to go A. We're going to go A. They had Call of Duty World at War. This never really had a true competitive system. But it was just like S&D, and then you played on GB, some tournaments and stuff. It was a really fun game. I liked it a lot. MP40 was great. The Thompson was great. STG. The maps weren't the best. Maps were the best. You had like Macon. You had that prison map where it was all the broken down prison. What other maps were in like competitive GBs in those days? The zombies. Zombies was elite. Love zombies. Where would I put World at War for competitive? I mean, it's just hard to rate this game for competitive just because it wasn't actually competitive. But if it was a competitive game, it had domination and stuff. Or what was that? Oh, Blitzkrieg. What was that thing? Was it Blitz? I think it was Blitz is what they called it. Or not Blitz. It was something where you had to like capture all the flags, and like the more you got, the more momentum you got. It'd probably be like low C. It just never really was competitive, so S&D was really fun in that game. S&D was really fun, but wasn't a competitive game. Cold War. Now this is an interesting one. Or War, that's what it's called. Yeah, War. And then they would yell out like Blitzkrieg once you like capture all the things. Cold War was actually, it was pretty boring to be honest. This game, I think, really got saved by getting Raid in, getting Standoff in for S&D and Express in for S&D. Raid was the best map by far. Garrison was pretty fun. Checkmate was pretty fun. Miami S&D, I love that map. Fantastic map. Our team was disgusting at that, so has a good place in my heart because of a little bias. But Hardpoint played pretty well. Everything played pretty well. It's probably in B. I'll put it above like COD 4 and B, I think. Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think that's a good one. Don't really have to talk about it too much because I feel like the only thing people remember from that year is our reverse sweep, phase dominating everyone, and accuracy clutching a 1v3 versus Optic. That's really the only thing you remember from Cold War. You don't really remember anything else because that game just was very bland. And now we get to talk about the best Call of Duty of all time, Vanguard, which has a lot of negativity and a lot of rumors and lies and a lot of people trying to not really give the game its fair credit or dues. Where clearly it's one of the most entertaining games. Being able to bust through doors, break through walls, see through cracks in the wall and kill people is one of those things where it takes skill. It's not just like cheesy, it's skill, talent. That's why you see this game being so entertaining. So as one of the best CODs of all time for pubs and competitive, we're going to have to put it in an S above Black Ops 2 because Vanguard, it's a good one, man. It's a fun one. If you guys have played it, everyone that's hating on it, remember, they hated on Jesus too. They hated on God. But Vanguard, it gets a lot of hate, but you need to give it its flowers. You need to give it its flowers and really realize that it's an S tier game. It's an S tier game, man. You guys can either accept the facts or even if you don't accept them, you just gotta live with it. No, I'm just kidding. It's not S tier, but it's not as terrible as everyone says it is. So I'd probably put it in like, it's a fun game, but S&D is in it. The maps are hardpoints everything's just kind of except for Bokage. I love Bokage. Bokage is a fantastic hardpoint map. So I'd probably put it in C, right there. It'd probably be Vanguard and Modern Warfare right down low with all these. No, I'm not putting it in F. I'm not putting it in F. I'm not doing that to my baby. This is my toxic X right here, Call of Duty Vanguard. My toxic X that I just can't get over. I just always think about it every night. I just wish I'd just be calling out in my sleep sometimes. Yo, he's one shot. Top Grandma's one shot. Yo, I'm pushing P3. Yo, I'm spawn killing. They're in the back. Oh, yeah. It's this is gonna be the best list right here. Vanguard is gonna be in C, and this will be the competitive Call of Duty tier list.